Raid Shadow Legends Stu here with Elder Skarg, this barbarian god. So normally I run all my champions through dungeons and go over their skills as we go. But this guy has a lot going on for him, so I want to read over everything with you. His passive here, receive 15% less damage from legendary champions. That already tells you this guy is probably an arena champion. 30% additional crit in arena for that aura. And then his A3, this is his bread and butter. Everything Elder Skarg. It's on a 3-turn cooldown. These debuffs cannot be resisted. Now, he doesn't do damage on this ability, so they will always be applied as long as the enemy doesn't have a block debuffs buff or if they don't have immunity artifacts. He will always apply this because he's not doing damage on it. If you're doing damage and you still have these debuffs cannot be resisted, you can weak hit on your weak affinity and still not apply the debuffs. But with him, we are always going to apply these no matter what on a 3-turn cooldown. Again, if they don't have immunity artifacts or if they don't have a block debuffs buff up, which is pretty sweet. Because fear means that they have a 50% chance to fail using their ability and they will do nothing that turn. And you know the AI will always try to use their ability. Here we could do true fear if they have a block damage buffs up. So if they have somebody like Roshguard the Tower doing block damage to the whole team, you can get up a true fear. Then they have a 50% chance to fail using their ability and then it goes on cooldown. Now here also, if they have shields, we place a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. And again, they cannot be resisted 3-turn cooldown. Now with Harvest Despair and the defense mastery tree, whenever we apply a fear, we get a high percentage chance to apply leech. So this guy in dungeons, but especially going through the waves, right? We can't apply fear on a boss, unfortunately, but going through the waves, we apply fear all the time and we apply leech all the time, which is pretty nice. Not too bad at all. Then his A2 here hits 3 times. It can hit an additional 3 times if there are buffs and debuffs on the enemy. If you do hit all 6 times, he will place an HP burn and a true fear debuff up. Nobody really cares about this. You don't need accuracy on Elder Skarg because all we're worried about is getting these fears up. That's it. And then if they're under shields, we're going to get these decreased speed up. So that's pretty good too. But we're not worried. Like he could place an HP burn and we wouldn't even care. He could just do that normally. I don't even see why he needs to have a condition on this ability to do anything. And then his A1 here is a pretty unique A1 in that he can get a 30% increased speed buff on himself as long as he critical hits. So we can make him faster, right? Take turns faster, get this 3-turn cooldown, get these fears up on the enemy along with our leech debuff so we can heal off that leech. And that's really all that he does out here. Now I was hoping that he would do more. Like he looks really nice on paper. He's got a 3-turn cooldown. We're going to put up the fears. We're going to get leeches up. There we are. Look at all those leech. So we're going to heal back from all the leech that are out there. We're going to fear these people, hopefully. Remember, it's 50-50 to fear them. And it's not true fear, so their ability doesn't go on cooldown. We got to fear there. So he can help you, right? Say he's your only legendary that you have. Only one that you have. Don't put books into him and then use him in this fashion with Harvest Despair and the defense mastery because I am not a fan of this champion. Now we're going to run him in arena. But this guy really is very lackluster compared to what I thought he was going to be like. So we did him. We leveled him up on stream today. We ran him through a whole bunch of stuff. We geared him out. We wanted to see what he could do, what he was capable of. We even ran him in arena. Now, depending on your arena comp, he can be there to help you, to support you on your 12s arena or something like that if you really needed it. You can see here that he can do damage. All champions can do damage, right? And we want a champion with utility, and he has the utility. But for some reason, he is really lacking in some aspect of the game, which I just don't understand. It's just not, he's just not there. Really what I feel like, when he does this AoE right here, he needs to take an additional turn so he can do damage afterwards. He does the AoE fear, that's great, on a 3-turn cooldown, but much like Mashalad, who does it, he takes an additional turn, which I think here, this guy needs to take an additional turn as well so he can come around and do his A2, which would be perfect because then he's going to get additional hits. He's going to get additional hits because debuffs are going to be applied. The enemy could have buffs up and he will work out much better. Now again, when we get to the boss with a lot of these champions, especially with Elder Skarg, since we can't apply the fear, we can't apply the leech, he's not that great, right? He's just another champion here to do a little bit of damage on these bosses. He's not going to do cold heart damage based off of enemy max HP. He's not going to do anything else insane. He's not even going to apply any more debuffs. We could apply a HP burn on the A2 and that's it. That's really all we could do here on the Dragon. So he's not the greatest. But again, if you don't have very many legendary champions and you don't want to book him and you want to leave him at 50, you could try to use him. Because I'm really against leveling this champion up, putting books into him, and using the chickens to 6-star him. Very much against it. But since we talked about it earlier about, we're going to go into arena, don't worry. We talked about earlier how he cannot be resisted. We're going to run him here in Ice Golem. We're going to put him on this team. I don't know if this team is going to make it or not, but we'll put him on here just to see. But look at all that leech. Look at all that fear, and look at all of those leeches up that we're going to heal off of. We don't have anybody on this team to heal us. Not really. We do have Vergus, which can put up a regen here, which is pretty sweet, but we don't have any real legitimate healers. Let's see if we lose anybody of this wave. If we can fear them enough so that they don't do their reflex and their mass damage here. Let's see. Now again, nope, we didn't fear that one. We're in trouble. Hopefully we've got some leech up so we can heal back with the damage. Nope, not enough, not enough. Okay, but you can see where we're applying the fear still, and we are applying the leech. We're still getting that done. All right, let's back out of here. I don't want to go through any further and waste any more time. We've already talked about this guy. Again, I am not a believer in Elder Skarg. I don't think you should use him. I don't think he's a very good champion overall. We're going to jump into arena. Let's go over to where his stats are so you can see everything that I've got on him. I've got him in Savage and not Speed, just Savage and Broken. We do have him in an attack banner because we don't need accuracy on him. We don't care about that A2 doing anything whatsoever except for additional hits, and it will do that as long as we have the buffs and the debuffs up. I have him booked out, but I don't know. He needs this to be on a 3-turn cooldown if you're going to try to use that as a battery. I would wait to see if this guy gets buffed. He really needs to take an additional turn after this so he can come in and try to do some damage. It's single target damage, and it's not like he's killing something and keeping it dead. So it's not as, if you come up against a Rotos that also has a Sifi and an Arbiter, you're not doing much. You're killing one person, and then the rest are just going to revive them back. They've got 2 revivers, Sifi, Arbiter, and you're going up against a Rotos. So this guy is pretty much not the best, right? Not the best legendary out there. I consider him pretty much garbage tier the way he functions. Now here you can see I've got Harvest Despair. Anytime we place a Stun, Sleep, Fear, True Fear, Freeze, we're going to get 60% chance to place the Leech, which is amazing. And then I do have Helm Smasher down here to get that additional damage. Now we're going to jump over into Arena. So there he is. We're going to see what kind of damage we can do in Arena, but the problem lies in that if they have any healers, we're done. And if we have to go in here and fashion him in a way that he is our damage dealer alone, he's not going to do anything. Like if we're using a speed buff, and then drop everything down and then bring in Elder Skarg, we'll see. I want to show you. Or if we just use him to fear, this isn't the right setup for him at all. Now, with Rotos in the game, you don't need any setup with Rotos. You could just bring Rotos in. So the only teams that I really see that he works well with would be a Rotos in place of Madam. Because we don't need Madam with a Rotos out there, right? His A3 can take people out, 75% ignore defense, kill it, keep it dead, take additional turn. He can't die. So then you could have the buff, Elder Skarg, and Rotos. It's the only way I can see it making sense, because even if I do this right here, and then I use Elder Skarg's A3, again, he's not taking an additional turn to do that A2. So he's not doing any damage yet. We're waiting to come back around. And we're hoping that this 50% chance to fear these guys kicks in. Only a 50% chance. You never want to bet on that. And this would be the longest fight ever. And as you saw, nope, didn't take there. Didn't take there. There's True Fear. That's much better. That way if they fear, it goes on cooldown. We did some damage. He can do damage. All champions can do damage, guys. Yes, Elder Skarg can slap. He can just do some massive amount of damage. Everybody can. With those 6 hits, he can do quite a lot. That's great. Single target, 6 hits. Kill something, it's coming back to life. Now, if you have a team like I just talked about, where you have Rotos doing the killing, Elder Skarg putting up the fears, you could also have a lot of other champions there that would do better or just as good as having an Elder Skarg there. Now, if you have a defensive team and you want to play like a slow play, if you have something like a Krisk, if you have a Valkyrie that's really going to save your people in slow play and have them keep coming back around, or high resistance, then yeah, on a 3-turn cooldown with Elder Skarg trying to fear everybody, that could be fun to get those fears in there, mix it up. Here, we'll go in here against, hey, perfect. They don't have a revive. So if you're playing 12's Arena and you're going up against a team that doesn't have a revive, you could play him in there. But you could play a lot of other champions, like any other champions, like a Faceless or something like that, just to wipe somebody out. But you could bring them in teams like this. So a team like this, we don't have to worry about anybody being revived. You're not going to find this in Platinum Arena, guys. You're not going to find a Platinum Arena team that has all this with no revivers. So this guy, now we're going to use this A2, right? Boom, 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 multiple hits. We could have done like, I don't know, a few more hits even. Killed him very easily, sure. But this team, I mean, this is goal 4. This is goal 4. So as far as I can say about Elder Skarg, he is useless. I consider him a useless legendary. If you wanted to spin the books, if you wanted to make it just so you could get through some waves, then hopefully you have Miscreated Monster, you have a Vergus, you have a Molly Tankard, or you have, I don't know, a rare that can AoE provoke, right? Something like that on a 3-turn cooldown. You have Greybeard or whatever his name is, the one I use all the time. He's fantastic. A rare on a 3-turn cooldown that provokes, no problem. I just don't get it. I don't get the mechanics. I get the way they made him, and they said, hey, this guy cannot be resisted. It's going to be pretty interesting. But I feel like they need to give him an additional turn like Mashallah. And then even then, I don't see him getting a lot of uses unless you play him with Rotos along with 2 boosters and Rotos, or you play him in 12's Arena just because you want to and you don't have any other options, really. That's how I feel. But please let me know your comments down below. Let me know how you feel about Elder Skarg. If you don't think I did him justice, then tell us why. Tell us what you think, because we played him on stream. We ran him through a lot of things. I ran him through 12's Arena as well. I just don't feel like he's worth the books, worth the chickens. I don't feel like he's a badly designed champion, but he just doesn't work. He looks cool on paper, but just does not have a practical application for what he does, in my eyes. So let me know. Thank you for your time. Appreciate you all for watching, and I will see you guys all on a video soon.